We're diving deep, real deep, into the world of the 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, that simple, ordinary-looking coin that most people don't give a second glance to might actually be a secret millionaire. Current estimated value? $1.1 million. Yep, you heard that right. 1.1 million. So get comfy, grab your jar of coins, and let's talk about how something so small could change your life in a big way. By the way, I once threw a penny at my brother for stealing my fries. Imagine if that had been the $1.1 million one. Let's not make that mistake again, huh? The 1993 Lincoln penny, yeah, the one with Abe Lincoln chillin' on the front, was minted in the billions. Most were made in Philadelphia, Denver, and a few at the San Francisco Mint. But here's the kicker, the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark. So if your coin says 1993, and there's no letter under the date, guess what? That's your no mint mark penny. Now wait, that doesn't mean it's automatically worth $1 million. So what's the catch? It all comes down to errors, rarity, and condition. Let's break that down. We're talking about some wild ones here. Double dies, off-centers, clipped planchets, and even coins struck on the wrong type of metal. The most valuable 1993 no-mint mark penny ever found had a double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face, the date, and "In God We Trust" were slightly doubled. It's subtle but powerful, like a ghost version of Abe giving you financial advice. Another case was a wrong planchet error, a penny struck on a dime blank. Imagine a coppery coin, but super thin and lighter than usual. These are unicorns in the coin world. Let's be real, 1993 pennies aren't rare. But rare errors from 1993 with no mint mark? Now you're talking next level collector bait. Only a few are confirmed to exist with these premium traits. This one's crucial. A coin with $1 million error still won't fetch a fraction of that if it's all scratched up and looks like it went through a blender. The $1 million penny was graded MS-68 red by a top coin grading service. That's like being the valedictorian of pocket change. I once spent an entire weekend digging through every single coin I had. Yes, I even raided my old Monopoly box. My spouse thought I'd gone rogue. But here's the thing, I actually found a 1993 no-mint mark penny that looked suspiciously perfect. I was sweating like I just found buried treasure. Took it to a local coin dealer. Turns out it was worth 3 cents. Hey, not every dig turns up gold, but the adrenaline rush was real, and that moment made me realize every coin has a story. And yours just might be worth $1 million. Let's talk about coin grading, the magical and slightly intimidating process that decides whether your coin is a rare treasure or just lunch money. You want your 1993 penny to be in at least MS-65 or higher for serious value. That means sharp details, no major scratches, shiny luster, basically, the George Clooney of pennies. Grading companies like PCGS or NGC can help. Yes, it costs a bit, but if your penny could be worth $1.1 million, that $30 fee is peanuts. And pro tip, never clean your coin. I know, it sounds weird, but cleaning destroys value faster than you can say. Soapy sponge. A 1993 no-mint mark penny with a dramatic die clash and flawless grade sold at a private auction for, drumroll, $1.1 million. The buyer? An anonymous collector who called it the holy grail of modern pennies. That's not just a collector's win, that's life-changing wealth. Other similar 1993-era pennies have sold for $5,000, $12,000, even $25,000. So even if yours isn't the $1 million unicorn, it could still fund a vacation, or several. Grab your 1993 pennies, look for the no mint mark, use a magnifying glass, check for doubling, off-centering, or any weird shapes, compare it online with error listings or Reddit coin communities. If it looks promising, send it in for grading. Don't have the tools? Ask a local coin shop or a fellow collector. You'd be surprised how helpful the coin community is, unless you owe them a soda from 1996. That a humble penny from 1993 could buy you a house, a luxury car, or a whole new lifestyle. All you need is one error, one perfect condition, and one moment of luck. This isn't just about coins. It's about curiosity, knowledge, and seizing opportunity. That penny in your pocket could be more than loose change, it could be your big break. Now do me a favor, go check your couch cushions, your piggy banks, your junk drawers. And if you find that $1,000,000 penny, remember who sent you looking. If you like this video, smash that like button like it's your student loan balance. Subscribe for more awesome coin tips, stories, and strategies that'll help turn your everyday change into extraordinary wealth. You might want to dig into those piles of coins because hiding in plain sight could be one of the rarest pennies in America, the 1979 Lincoln penny. And guess what? One of these bad boys recently turned heads when it was valued at a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes. You heard that right. $1.2 million. For a penny. A coin most of us overlook or throw into tip jars without a second thought. But don't worry, we're not just going to drop that bomb on you and walk away. Nope. Stick around, because in this video, we're diving deep into why this tiny copper coin is making millionaires out of everyday folks like you and me. And I'll even share a little story about how a penny almost paid for my new truck. Emphasis on almost. So grab your coffee, pull up that box of old coins, and let's go on a treasure hunt. You're gonna love this ride. Let's start with a little perspective. Most people think a penny is worthless these days. You can't even buy bubblegum with it. But collectors? They know better. Some pennies aren't just pocket change. They're history. They're art. And in rare cases, they're pure gold. Well, figuratively speaking, the 1979 Lincoln penny is one of those surprising gems. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny, copper-colored, Lincoln's profile, date stamp, and that little D below the year, signifying it was minted in Denver. So what makes this penny worth $1.2 million? Spoiler alert, it's not just about the date or the mint mark. It's about a rare error. And you're gonna want to hear this. In 1979, the US Mint was still using copper for pennies, mostly, anyway. The exact composition was 95% copper and 5% zinc. But not all coins were struck perfectly. Now, coin errors can be anything from double strikes, misaligned dies, off-centers, clipped planchets, you name it. And it just so happens that some 1979 pennies were minted with incredible striking errors that made them extremely rare. One specific 1979 penny was found to have a double die obverse. Basically, the design on the front was struck twice, slightly off from each other. This created a unique shadow effect, especially around the lettering like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Collectors love that kind of thing. It's like finding a misprinted baseball card or a dollar bill with upside-down numbers. It's quirky, unique, and highly sought. So how does that translate to millions? Well, it all boils down to supply and demand. Only a handful of these era pennies from 1979 with the Denver Mint mark are known to exist in mint, or near mint condition. That's less than a dozen. Now imagine hundreds of collectors battling it out in an auction. Bidding wars start. Emotions get high. The price climbs. And before you know it, one very lucky owner walks away with a 7-figure check. What makes it even wilder? Most people never even knew they had a rare coin. Some were found in change jars. One guy literally found his in a gas station tray where people leave pennies to. Take a penny, leave a penny. Alright, time for a little personal story. So, about 5 years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. You know the type, boxes everywhere, old newspapers, dusty tools, and a big mason jar full of pennies. Being the curious coin nerd I am, I took it home, dumped it out, and started sorting through it. And there it was, a 1979 penny. My heart skipped a beat. I immediately grabbed a magnifying glass and a flashlight, praying for an error, and yep, there was doubling. On the "In God We Trust" text. I was about to dance right there in my kitchen. I even called a coin dealer the next day. Long story short, it was close, but not the one. Slight doubling, but not enough to be considered the $1 million variety. Heartbreak? Yes. But hey, now I know what to look for. And I haven't stopped hunting since. So, how can you tell if your 1979 D penny is worth a fortune? Here's a quick guide. Look closely at the "In God We Trust, Liberty" and the date, 1979. If the letters look shadowed or doubled, that's a strong indicator. The cleaner, shinier, and more perfect the coin, the more it's worth. Collectors pay top dollar for uncirculated or mint state, graded coins. If you think you've got something, don't just rely on Google Images. Take it to a professional coin grader or a reputable dealer. You don't need fancy equipment. A decent magnifying glass and good lighting go a long way. Now, I know what you're thinking. Should I just go out and buy a bunch of 1979 D pennies? Well, not quite. Here's the smarter approach: check your own collection. Look in the couch cushions, car seats, and old jars. You'd be surprised what shows up when people don't know what they have. Join online forums or local coin clubs. Sometimes the best finds come through word of mouth. Don't fall for fakes. Know your mint marks, understand grading scales, and get familiar with error types. The 1979 D Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that wealth can be hiding in plain sight. That something as ordinary as a penny could be your ticket to a life-changing discovery. Remember, it's not always about luck. It's about awareness. Paying attention. Being just curious enough to flip that coin over, look a little closer, and ask, what if? Maybe you've already walked past a fortune at the grocery store, dropped it in a tip jar, or given it as exact change. But not anymore. Now you know better. So, go check those coins. Look for that 1979 D with the magical doubling. And if you find one, well, just promise you'll invite me to your celebration party, alright? Before you go, smash that like button, subscribe for more amazing coin tips and millionaire stories from the world of numismatics, and drop a comment below telling me your best coin find ever. Let that sink in. 1 cent worth $1 million. That's 130 million% profit. Now that's what I call a good investment. So, if you've ever tossed pennies in a jar, left some in your car's cup holder, or stuffed some in your junk drawer for later, today might just be your lucky day. Stick around because we're diving deep into this golden nugget of history. What makes the 1960 D penny so insanely valuable, how to spot the special ones, and why some collectors are basically losing their minds over it. And hey, I'll even share a personal story about how one innocent trip to a garage sale turned into a coin adventure that changed how I look at loose change forever. So grab your coin jar, maybe a magnifying glass, and settle in. Because we're going full copper detective today. First things first, let's rewind the clock to 1960. It was the era of Elvis, black and white TVs, and tailfin Cadillacs. And while the world was grooving to rock and roll, the U.S. Mint in Denver was stamping out millions, literally millions, of Lincoln pennies with that tiny D under the date. Now, the 1960 D Lincoln cent might seem like just another coin at first glance. After all, over 1.5 billion of these were minted. Yes, billion with a B, but here's the kicker: not all 1960 D pennies are created equal. Some of them came out, let's just say, a little weird. And that's where the money is. Okay, let's nerd out for a second, but in a fun way. There are two main varieties of the 1960 D penny, the small date and the large date, and it's not just about font sizes. Oh no. Collectors go bananas over these differences. Small date versions had thinner, taller numerals, especially the 0, which looks tighter and a bit more squished. Large date. Think bolder, wider, a little more in your face. And then, enter the legendary double die errors. A double die happens when the coin die strikes the design twice, slightly misaligned, creating a shadow effect on the lettering or numbers. And the 1960 D small date double die obverse? That's the holy grail. It's like finding a golden ticket in your Wonka bar, but instead of chocolate, you've got $1 million copper coin. So why is this tiny coin commanding such insane prices? It's all about rarity. Plus condition plus collector frenzy. There are only a handful of verified, uncirculated grade 1960 D small date double die errors in existence. Point one of them, graded MS67RD by PCGS, sold at auction for over $1.30 million. That's not just a number. That's life-changing money. We're talking paying off your house, buying a Tesla, and still having enough left to visit Italy and eat gelato on a boat. But wait. Before you start dreaming of dollar signs, it's important to know what not to waste time on. Most regular 1960D pennies are worth about 2 cents due to copper value. That's right. You double your money, but still, not quite Lamborghini cash. To identify a small date, look at the 0 in the date. If it's oval and tight, you might be onto something. If it's wide and round, that's a large date. Still cool, but not mega bucks. Then look for doubling. Focus on the Liberty text and the date numbers. If they look doubled, like they've got a shadow, ding ding, you've got a winner. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. Your naked eye might miss those details, and condition matters a ton. A circulated one might be worth a couple hundred, but uncirculated, cherry red examples? That's where the million-dollar dreams live. And hey, if you're unsure, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. Grading adds legitimacy. And if you're gonna ask someone for $1 million, you better have a second opinion. About 5 years ago, I hit a local garage sale in my neighborhood. Just killing time on a Saturday, looking for old records and maybe a quirky lamp. I saw this little tin box labeled Old Pennies $1. Inside? A mix of crusty coins, most from the 60s and 70s. I almost didn't buy it, but something said, "Why not?" I took it home, dumped the contents on the table, and started poking around. One coin jumped out at me, a 1960D penny. I looked closer, small date. Even closer, Liberty looked a bit off. Was it doubled? I freaked out. I must have spent 3 straight hours cross-checking online photos, forums, videos, everything. I eventually sent it in for grading. Was it the $1 million one? Nah, mine was a bit too worn. But it still fetched $450 at auction, from a $1 garage sale tin. That's the moment I realized, this hobby is legit, and ever since then, I've been a full-blown coin nerd. And proud of it. Check your change. Focus on pennies from 1960, especially with a D mint mark. Learn to tell the small date from the large date. Look for doubling, especially around the date and Liberty. If in doubt, don't guess. Get it graded, join a local coin club or online forum. The community is amazing, and you'll learn a ton. Be patient. Not every penny is a jackpot, but the hunt? That's the real fun.so. There you have it. The tale of the 1960D mint mark Lincoln penny that might just make you a millionaire. Crazy to think one tiny coin, something most folks ignore, could be the key to unlocking serious wealth. It's out there. Right now. Maybe in your pocket. Maybe in a family jar. Maybe in that old shoebox in your attic.so. Keep looking. Stay curious. And never underestimate the value of something small. If you enjoyed this little coin journey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin insights, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to turn spare change into serious cash. And hey, got a story about a rare coin find? Drop it in the comments below. Let's swap stories. Who knows, you might inspire the next great treasure hunter out there. Imagine walking into your kitchen, reaching for that dusty jar of coins you've been ignoring for years, and pulling out a single penny, just one. Now imagine that same penny turning out to be worth $1.6 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the twist, it's not a fantasy, it's real. A rare 1988D mint mark Lincoln penny is making headlines and changing lives. And if you're holding on to one without knowing, you could be sitting on a financial goldmine. Now let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Those little copper coins most people toss into drawers, glove compartments, or coin jars without a second thought. What if I told you that one mistake on a 1988 penny has transformed it from pocket change into a multi-million-dollar treasure? And there are still a few out there, waiting to be discovered. So don't blink. Because over the next few minutes, you'll learn what makes this coin so rare, how you can identify it, and, most importantly, how you might already own one and not even know it. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to reveal a collector's secret that could turn your ordinary-looking coins into extraordinary wealth. Back in 1988, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. To most people, they all looked the same, just another copper coin featuring good old Abraham Lincoln. But hidden among those millions was a batch of coins containing a mysterious and valuable error. A minting mistake so subtle, even seasoned collectors sometimes overlook it. This rare error is known in collector circles as the transitional reverse error. Now, if that sounds like technical mumbo-jumbo, stay with me, because the impact of this error is huge. You see, the reverse design on some 1988 pennies accidentally used the design from 1989, creating a mismatch between the obverse and reverse. It's like minting a 2025 coin with the back of a 2026 coin, before 2026 even exists. Only a few of these error coins escaped into circulation. And because it was such a low-key error, most people never noticed. They spent them, lost them, or threw them into change jars. That's what makes these coins so rare, and so valuable. One of these 1988 D-era pennies recently sold for an eye-watering $1.6 million at a private auction, sending shockwaves through the coin-collecting world. Now here's the kicker. Some experts believe there are still a handful of these era pennies out there, hiding in plain sight. In your pocket. In your coin jar. Maybe even under your couch cushion. If you're watching this, it means you're not just curious, you're someone who sees opportunity. And right now, the opportunity is knocking. Let's pause for a second. Ever wonder how many millionaires you've unknowingly stood next to at the grocery store? Or maybe, just maybe, you're about to become one of them, thanks to a penny you already owe. WN.SO. How do you identify one of these $1 million 1988 D Lincoln pennies? Start by flipping the coin and examining the reverse, the back side of the penny. Look closely at the lettering, especially around the word America. If the letters A and M are unusually close together, forming what experts call the wide AM design used in 1989, then you might be holding the treasure everyone's searching for. Now, here's the urgency. These coins are in high demand. Coin dealers, private collectors, and auction houses are scouring the country for them. The prices are climbing, and availability is shrinking. Once these coins are gone from circulation and locked into private collections, they're not coming back. That's why you need to act now. Check your coins, get them evaluated, and consult a certified numismatist if you think you've got something special. And hey, before you think this is a once-in-a-lifetime fluke, remember this: coin collecting has always rewarded the curious, the bold, and the informed. You're not just watching this video for fun, you're investing in knowledge. And in a world where most people scroll past opportunities, you're the one who stopped. That says something. Now, let me plant one last seed in your mind. What if the next coin you touch is the one that changes everything? What if your path to financial freedom is sitting quietly in a shoebox under your bed? You see, it's not just about a lucky penny, it's about waking up to the value hiding in plain sight. Every coin has a story. Some just happen to be worth $1 million. Before you run to dig through your coin stash, and believe me, you should, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Because I've got more coin secrets coming your way. We're diving into the rarest finds, overlooked gems, and the smart strategies that everyday people, just like you, are using to build wealth through old change. And in the next video, we're uncovering another shocking penny error from the 90s that could be even rarer than the 1988 D. But you'll have to tune in to find out. Don't miss it. We're diving into the jaw-dropping truth behind the 1968 D penny, a coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm. You might think it's just pocket change, but the reality? It could fund your dream retirement, buy your dream home, or even spark your journey toward financial freedom. Now, I know what you're thinking. Seriously? A penny from 1968? I probably have a bunch of those collecting dust in a drawer. Exactly. That's why this story matters more than ever. Because someone, somewhere, just like you, recently sold a rare 1968 D penny with an error for a life-changing sum. And trust me, that coin didn't look like it belonged in a museum. It looked, ordinary.so, what makes this penny so incredibly valuable? It's all about one thing: error. But not just any error. This is a rare coin that slipped through the cracks of the US Mint's strict quality control system. In some versions of the 1968 D penny, there's a dramatic doubling effect on the words, Liberty, or the motto, In God We Trust. In others, the mint mark itself, the tiny D for Denver, is misaligned or missing entirely, creating an ultra-rare variation that collectors are practically fighting over. Let me put it this way: if minting errors were Hollywood actors, this one would be Brad Pitt in his prime. It's desirable, rare, and the demand just keeps growing. And here's the kicker: the more people find out about these million-dollar pennies, the fewer there are left in circulation. Scarcity, after all, is what drives value sky high. Quick attention reset: have you checked your penny jar lately? Seriously. Because while you're binge-watching Netflix, your dusty coffee tin could be gaining value faster than the stock market. Now let's talk money. A verified 1968 D penny with a high-grade error recently fetched a stunning $1.7 million at auction. That's not a typo. And the reason? The collector community is booming. Wealthy buyers and high-end investors are turning their eyes toward rare coins as alternative assets. This penny isn't just historical, it's a hot commodity. With inflation rising and traditional investments getting shaky, coins like this are becoming the go-to for smart, wealthy individuals. And here's where the urgency kicks in: these pennies are vanishing fast. As word spreads and more people start hunting through their change, the odds of finding one are shrinking by the second. This isn't just about collecting, it's about timing. You don't want to be the person who realizes too late that the million-dollar penny was sitting in your palm the whole time. Let me share a true story. A retired mail carrier in Ohio spent decades tossing spare pennies into a jar. Nothing special, just a habit. Until one day, his grandson, a hobbyist, spotted an unusual 1968 D penny, one with a slight doubling on the date and a faintly struck mint mark. They sent it to a grading service. Weeks later, the coin was authenticated and valued at over $1.6 million. That penny didn't just buy them a new car. It paid off debts, funded college, and sparked a family-run coin business. This story isn't just a feel-good tale, it's a reminder that opportunity is often hiding in plain sight. You don't need to be a seasoned collector to strike gold. You just need to know what to look for, where to look, and why now is the time. Another quick attention check: what's the one item you haven't touched in years but might be worth more than your car? Yep. That drawer of old coins. Now here's the twist: there's more than one variation of the 1968 D penny. Some have mint errors that are still being discovered and evaluated, meaning the next record-breaking sale could feature a penny just like yours. And in our next video, I'll show you exactly how to evaluate these coins yourself, what tools you need, and how to get them graded by the pros. Take a good, hard look at your change. Because if there's even a small chance that you're holding on to a $1.7 million penny, wouldn't you want to know? So go ahead, check your coins, clean out that piggy bank, and remember, financial transformation sometimes starts with just 1 cent. Subscribe now, hit the bell so you don't miss our guide to identifying high-value pennies, and join thousands of others who are turning pocket change into powerful change. We're diving into one of the most exciting, rarest, and shockingly valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1976 D Lincoln penny. This isn't just a coin. It's a millionaire maker, a retirement booster, and possibly your personal lottery ticket you never cashed in. Before you skip past this thinking it's too good to be true, stay with me. What you're about to discover could transform how you look at every penny you've ever held. This isn't folklore, this is real, verifiable, and incredibly in demand. And people across America are scrambling to find theirs before it's too late. Now, let's travel back to 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial, the big 200-year birthday. Fireworks, freedom, and national pride were everywhere. While quarters and half dollars were getting commemorative makeovers for the occasion, the humble penny was quietly continuing its standard design. Nothing flashy, right? The Denver Mint, responsible for billions of pennies, unknowingly produced a limited batch of 1970-60 Lincoln pennies with incredibly rare minting errors. These weren't your everyday scratches or dull finish coins. We're talking about dramatic die cracks, double die obverse, and even off-center strikes, errors that collectors now worship for their rarity and historical significance. And here's where things get thrilling. One such error coin surfaced in recent years, graded and authenticated, setting off a bidding war that ended at a staggering $1.80 million. Yes, you read that right again. One single copper coin. 1 cent turned into $1.8 million. Let that sink in. Just imagine the fear of missing out, someone else finding that exact kind of coin sitting right now in a jar in your attic. That's the power of timing, knowledge, and acting fast. That's the power of understanding what you own before it disappears into someone else's pocket. And no, you don't need to be a historian, a numismatist, or even a full-time collector to cash in. All you need is curiosity, a magnifying glass, and the next 10 minutes with me. Because we're just getting started. Because if you're still watching, you're probably wondering, what exactly makes this 1970-60 penny so valuable? Great question. Think of it as a blend of mystery, mistake, and miracle. The most valuable examples feature prominent double die errors, where the date, Liberty, or Lincoln's profile shows a shadowy doubling effect due to misaligned dies. Some have off-center strikes that partially remove the rim or design, making them not just rare but one of a kind. And others have cut breaks or die cracks, basically internal minting wounds that increase their uniqueness and value. Graded as MS65 or higher, skyrocket in value exponentially. That means if your penny has never been circulated, never touched harshly, and still gleams with its original luster, you could be sitting on gold, or in this case, $1.8 million copper. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Demand for this coin has exploded. Private collectors, auction houses, and even investment firms are actively hunting for this penny. Why? Because its value is no longer just historical, it's strategic. Rare coins are becoming blue-chip investments in an uncertain economy, and the 1970-60 penny is on everyone's radar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, do I have one of these? That's exactly the energy you need. Go through your coin jars. Check your family's old coin collection. Ask your parents or grandparents if they ever held on to bicentennial era change. Because time is ticking, and every day, more of these coins are being found, sold, or, worse, lost forever. Rumors are circulating in the numismatic world that another even rarer version of the 1970-60 penny might exist, one struck on a foreign planchet, possibly aluminum or steel, due to a minting experiment gone wrong. If that coin surfaces, experts say it could fetch upwards of $5 million. And who's to say it's not already sitting quietly in someone's collection, waiting to be discovered? If this video has you even slightly excited, if you're starting to feel the itch to go digging through your old pennies, then you're already halfway there. This is your invitation to take action. Subscribe now because we regularly reveal insider knowledge about valuable coins, rare finds, and coin collecting strategies that could unlock hidden wealth right inside your home. The world of coins is more than a hobby, it's a lifestyle, a legacy, and for some, a lifeline. Don't let that one in a million opportunity pass you by. Let's build wealth the smart, historic, and thrilling way, one penny at a time. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, it's just a penny, let me stop you right there. Because this particular penny isn't ordinary. It's hiding something rare, something powerful. In fact, if you're someone who's ever dreamed of financial freedom or living that life of ease and luxury, this tiny coin might just be your golden ticket. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why. The year was 1972, Nixon was president, the Vietnam War was still raging, and the Lincoln cent had already become an American icon. But beneath the surface of all those perfectly struck pennies, a mistake was born. A mistake that collectors today call a miracle. Among the millions of pennies minted in Philadelphia that year, a few slipped through with a mind-blowing error, one that would later catapult their value to over $1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could a mint error make a coin worth that much? It's a fair question, and the answer lies in rarity, historical value, and human obsession. Collectors aren't just looking for old coins, they're searching for hidden gems, one-of-a-kind anomalies that whisper history. The 1972 no-mint mark penny, particularly those with the double die obverse error, fits that bill perfectly. You might want to check your penny jar after this video, because missing this could cost you millions. First, the no-mint mark indicates it was struck in Philadelphia, the oldest U.S. mint facility. While that alone isn't rare, the error variety is what skyrockets its value. We're talking about a double die obverse, where the date, the word liberty, and even in God we trust appear dramatically doubled. It's a striking visual that stops coin experts in their tracks. These doubling effects weren't caught immediately. By the time they were discovered, a small number had already circulated. Fast forward to now, and collectors are paying top dollar to own one. The demand has never been higher. Why? Because only a handful are in mint state, and even fewer are preserved in MS65 plus red condition, the ultimate dream grade. And here's the kicker: people have found these coins in change, in dusty drawers, even inside old piggy banks passed down from grandparents. One man found his tucked in an old envelope. He had no idea it was worth six figures until a dealer confirmed it. I mean, let's be real. Most of us toss our pennies in a jar and never look back. I used to think of mine as copper clutter. One day I even considered supergluing them to a picture frame for art. Thank goodness I didn't. Imagine gluing $1.1 million to a piece of cardboard. Now, here's where it gets intense. As more collectors become aware of the 1972 no-mint mark penny's value, the competition is growing. Every year, fewer are found in pristine condition, making those that remain even more desirable. Some believe these coins are still out there, unclaimed, unseen, waiting in a forgotten sock drawer or the back of a glove compartment. What if you're sitting on one right now and don't even know it? What if, in the next 5 minutes, you could change your future? We're not talking about a lottery ticket with terrible odds. This is real. Tangible. You either have the penny, or you don't. But unless you check, unless you know what to look for, you could miss the opportunity of a lifetime. And trust me, the people buying these coins? They know exactly what they're looking for. Here's how you can tell if your 1972 no-mint mark penny is the jackpot version. Grab a magnifying glass, yes, like a real treasure hunter, and examine the front, the obverse. Look closely at the date. If you see clear, strong doubling on the 1972, on Liberty, and on In God We Trust, you might be holding one of the most valuable coins in the world. If it's bright red, uncirculated, and in near perfect condition, you could be looking at 7 figures. And here's what you do next: don't clean it. Ever. Cleaning can reduce its value significantly. Place it in a protective coin holder, then take it to a certified coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify its authenticity and help you get it into the right auction where serious collectors are waiting. Wallets wide open. So, the question now is, will you check your change or let this moment pass you by? Because while you're watching this video, someone else is digging through their drawer, and they might beat you to it. Don't let someone else claim your fortune. Take a few minutes. Examine your coins. And who knows? The path to your wealthy lifestyle might begin with a penny. If you found this story inspiring, and you want more real opportunities hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and join our growing community of smart collectors and treasure hunters. Because next week, we're revealing another coin with an even more shocking price tag. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Imagine reaching into your old coin jar, pulling out a dusty penny from decades ago, only to discover it's worth more than a house. Sounds like a dream, right? But for one lucky collector, that exact dream came true with a 1975 D-mint mark Lincoln penny. This little copper beauty, once worth just 1 cent, now commands a staggering value of $1.2 million in the collector's market. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth over $1 million. Before you rush to dump your piggy bank on the kitchen table, hold on. There's more to this story than just luck. This video isn't just about a rare coin, it's about your opportunity to change your financial future by learning what to look for, how to identify valuable errors, and why collectors are throwing cash, serious cash, at this elusive 1975 penny. And if you've ever said to yourself, I wish I could find something valuable in my own home, then this might just be your golden ticket. Well, copper in this case. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so rare, why the demand is skyrocketing, and what to do if you find one. Oh, and we've got a twist at the end that might just blow your mind. Gerald Ford is president, gas costs just over 50 cents a gallon, and the Lincoln penny continues its humble journey through American pockets. But among the billions minted that year at the Denver Mint, something remarkable happened. A tiny handful of these coins were struck with subtle, almost invisible minting errors, flaws so rare that today, they have transformed these coins into highly sought-after collectors' treasures. A penny with a mistake? Why would that be worth anything? Great question. Let's reset your attention here. Have you ever seen someone pay thousands of dollars for an upside-down postage stamp? It's not the perfection, it's the imperfection that creates value. And in the coin world, error coins are hotter than ever. The 1975 penny, when struck off-center, double-die, or even with a repunched mint mark, becomes more than a currency, it becomes history, art, and rarity all wrapped in copper. The most prized example discovered? A 1975 penny with a dramatic double-die obverse, where Lincoln's profile and inscription show a bold doubling effect visible even without a microscope. The error was crisp, obvious, and untouched by circulation. That single coin recently fetched $1.2 million at a private auction. And the best part? Experts believe there are still more out there, hidden in collections, tucked away in drawers, or jingling in change jars, waiting to be found. Now, I know what you're wondering. What if I have one? Hold that thought. We'll get to how to check and what to do in just a moment. But first, let me share a quick story. A couple from Colorado was clearing out their late uncle's belongings when they stumbled upon a coffee can filled with old coins. They almost threw it away. But something told them to take a closer look. Inside? A 1975 penny that had been sitting unnoticed for over 40 years. They nearly fainted when they found out it could be worth 6 figures. Moral of the story? Don't throw away that old coffee can. Also, who even keeps coins in a coffee can anymore? That's so vintage it hurts. So what now? First, go find your old coins. Yes, go ahead and dig them out after this video. Look for the 1975 mint mark just below the date. Use a magnifier, check for doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Look for off-center strikes, repunched marks, and any abnormalities in Lincoln's profile. And here's the exciting part. Thanks to increased demand and rising auction prices, collectors and dealers are aggressively seeking these coins right now. The market is hot, and it's only getting hotter. A coin you've overlooked could be your retirement plan, your vacation home, or your ticket to that luxury lifestyle you've dreamed of. But don't wait. As word spreads, more coins are being pulled into collections and disappearing from circulation. Every moment you delay, someone else might be finding the jackpot penny you were meant to discover. And just before we go, remember that twist I mentioned? One private collector is offering a $50,000 finder's bonus for a specific 1975 penny variety not yet discovered. That means your penny might not only be worth millions, it could break a world record. If this inspired you, if it lit that spark of excitement, or made you run to your drawer just to peek, you owe it to yourself to stay on this journey. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join our growing community of everyday Americans discovering extraordinary treasures. Next time, we're diving into another coin that just might be sitting in your purse, waiting to make you rich. Until then, check those pennies. The $1 million one could be yours. We're diving deep into the story of one of the most surprisingly valuable pennies out there. And trust me, after this, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. We're going to break down the history, the juicy errors, the rare variants, and most importantly, how to tell if you might be holding on to $1 million mistake. Plus, I've got a wild little personal story about how I almost spent one of these bad boys on a Snickers bar. Seriously. So grab your coin jar, grab your coffee, or tea if you're classy, and let's get into the shiny, well, sometimes crusty, world of valuable pennies. Let's set the scene. The year is 1967. Lyndon B. Johnson is president, gas is like 30 cents a gallon, the Beatles are blowing everyone's minds, and the US Mint is pumping out coins like crazy. But here's the twist: no mint marks were used that year. That's right. Due to a coin shortage, the Mint decided to eliminate mint marks altogether from 1965 to 1967. So whether your penny was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it looks exactly the same, but don't be fooled by its plain face. Even without a mint mark, the 1967 Lincoln penny hides its value in the details. And I do mean tiny details. What makes some of these 1967 pennies worth big bucks isn't just age or condition, it's era types. Let me hit you with the heavy hitters. This is when the coin was struck twice with a slightly misaligned die. The result? Abraham Lincoln looks like he had one too many cups of coffee and started glitching. You'll notice doubling in words like Liberty or the date. 1967. These are super fun. Picture Lincoln trying to peek out from the edge of the coin like, "Hey! I'm not done yet!" The more off-center it is, without losing the date, the more valuable it becomes. That's when the penny literally has a chunk missing from it because the blank was miscut. It's like a bite taken out of a chocolate chip cookie. My personal favorite. This happens when a little die crack forms between the B and E in Liberty, forming what looks like a capital I, so now it says Liberty. Sounds like a failed revolution slogan. Coins with any of these errors in great condition can fetch hundreds or even thousands. But the holy grail is when a double error or rare die variety meets a high-grade, uncirculated coin. And that, my friends, is where that $1.1 million price tag comes from. Alright, let's talk about what makes one particular 1967 penny worth over $1 million. First off, condition is everything. The coin we're talking about was graded MS67 red by a professional coin grading service. That red label? It means it still has its original coppery luster, like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday. Combine that pristine condition with a rare double die obverse error and guess what? Scarcity meets perfection. The highest recorded sale was through a private collector who dished out $1.1 million for one of these gems. It's a classic case of supply and demand. Only a tiny handful of these high-grade errors exist, and wealthy collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. Imagine spending a penny and getting $1 million back. Kinda makes you want to check your couch cushions, right? So how do you know if your 1967 penny is special? All 1967 pennies lack a mint mark, so that's step 1. Look really closely at Liberty, in God we trust, and the date. If the letters look like they have a shadow or outline, bingo. Inspect for off-center designs. Lincoln should be centered. If he's wandering off the edge like he's tired of being president, take a closer look. Condition, condition, condition. Is it shiny and new looking? Fewer scratches than a cat at nap time? That's a good sign. A genuine copper 1967 penny weighs 3.11 grams. If it's a bit more or less, it might be a planchet error or wrong metal mix. Get it graded. If your coin seems promising, send it to PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can literally turn your penny into a payday. Back in 2014, I was cleaning out an old junk drawer at my grandma's house. You know the one: expired batteries, rubber bands, mystery keys to unknown locks. I found a Ziploc bag full of old pennies. Didn't think much of it, but for some reason I kept a few of the shinier ones. One of them? You guessed it, a 1967 no mint mark penny with a weird little doubling on the date. I remember thinking, that's neat. And I almost used it at a vending machine for a candy bar. But something about it told me to hold on to it. Fast forward a few years, I learned more about coin errors, and when I pulled that penny back out, I nearly fainted. It wasn't $1 million one, sadly. But I did sell it for over $2,000, so let's say you've got a promising penny. What now? First, don't just list it on eBay for $1 million without backup. That's like selling your used shoes for the price of a Tesla. Look up past auction prices for 1967 penny errors. Heritage auctions and great collections are solid references. If it's verified as rare and high grade, you can list it through auction houses, eBay, with proof, or private collectors. If someone says, "I'll give you $20 right now," don't bite. Take your time and get that coin what it deserves. So there you have it. A humble 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, something that most of us overlook every single day, could be your ticket to a six-figure payday. Or even seven. Who would have thought that a little copper coin hiding in a drawer, a pocket, or under your car seat could be worth more than a Lamborghini? If you've got old coins lying around, don't ignore them. Flip them over, get a magnifying glass, and start hunting. The treasure you're dreaming of might already be in your hand, you just haven't looked close enough. And hey, if you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird or rare coin. I want to hear your stories, especially if it involves almost spending it on candy like I did. Join the community of collectors, sellers, and everyday people discovering hidden fortune in everyday change. Until next time, keep checking your pennies, because you never know when you might strike copper gold. We're talking about the 1979 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that looks so ordinary, you'd probably toss it in a vending machine for a pack of gum, but guess what? Some rare versions of this coin are now fetching up to $1.2 million at auctions. That's right, one tiny cent that could make you a millionaire. Now before you run to check your pocket, hold on, because over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know. From what makes this coin valuable, to how to identify rare errors, to a few hilarious stories about people who almost spent their fortune on a bag of chips. Trust me, this is the most profitable history lesson you'll ever take. Grab a cup of coffee, maybe that old coin jar, and let's dive into the shiny world of penny power. Let's start at square one. The 1979 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which began way back in 1909. You've probably seen Honest Abe's face a million times without thinking twice. But 1979? That year has a twist. The U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 locations that year: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But the ones with no mint mark are the real mystery. Most of them are just regular pennies, yes, but a few of these coins were struck with rare minting errors or made from unusual planchets. Those are the metal discs before they're stamped into coins. Those rare few? They're worth the big bucks. Now here's where it gets juicy. There are 3 major reasons why your 1979 penny might be worth serious cash. These are the celebrities of the coin world. Think double dies, off-center strikes, or even coins struck on the wrong metal. There are reports of 1979 no-mint mark pennies being struck on silver planchets, foreign blanks, or showing extreme doubling on Lincoln's face or lettering. That's jackpot territory. Most pennies in circulation get beat up. They live rough lives in pockets and parking lots. But if you've got one in near-perfect condition, say, graded MS-67 or higher, collectors go wild. Why? Because pristine 1979 no-mint mark pennies are incredibly rare. Unique history. Some coins end up being valuable because of their backstory. A particular 1979 penny could have come from a small mintage batch or been part of a private collection for decades. That adds value. One such coin sold at auction for $1.2 million, thanks to a rare error and its mint condition. 1 cent became over $1 million. That's the kind of math I like. Let me share a funny story. I had a friend, let's call him Mike, who collected coins with his grandfather. One day, they were going through his grandpa's old tool chest when they stumbled on a rusted tin box full of pennies. Mike almost threw them out, but his grandpa, with that sixth sense grandpas have, said, "Hold up. Let's check those." Lo and behold, among them was a 1979 penny with a strange off-center strike and a gleaming copper tone. After some research and a trip to a coin shop, they got it graded MS-66 with a minor error. Not $1.2 million, but it did sell for a cool $3,800. Moral of the story? Never underestimate Grandpa. And also, never underestimate your change jar. Alright, now let's put you in the detective seat. No mint mark below the date. That means it came from Philadelphia. Doubling on the date, or Liberty. This is a strong sign of a double die. If Lincoln's head is not centered, that's a winner. Rare versions struck on silver or foreign planchets. If it shines like new and the details are crisp, it might be a high-grade piece. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. Still unsure? Take it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Coin collecting has exploded in recent years. With more people investing in alternative assets, rare coins are getting attention from collectors and investors alike. A 1979 no mint mark penny in mint state with a known error? Easily over $10,000 on the low end. Add a rare planchet, extreme doubling, and pristine condition? You're looking at a six-figure sale or more. Auctions are hot. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, even eBay if you know what you're doing. But always get your coin certified before trying to sell. Authenticity is everything in this game. There are folks out there who try to fake these coins. Don't fall for it. Altered dates, fake toning, filed mint marks, and sellers claiming every shiny penny is a $1 million error. Stick to reputable dealers, grading services, and online communities like CoinTalk or Reddit's r/coins for real advice. Who would have thought that a tiny copper coin from 1979, something most people wouldn't bend over to pick up, could be worth over $1 million? That's the magic of coin collecting. It's history in your pocket. It's adventure on your kitchen counter. It's treasure, hidden in plain sight. So the next time you're digging in your car console, or emptying out that jar of pennies in the garage, slow down. Look closely. Your next big payday might be staring back at you, with Abraham Lincoln's face. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips on spotting coins worth serious cash. Tap the notification bell so you never miss a potential $1 million coin alert. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny, or just want to brag about your coin collection. We're diving deep into a seemingly ordinary little coin that could be worth more than your car, more than your college tuition, and maybe even more than your house if you're still paying off that mortgage. I am talking about the 1981 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yup, just a plain old brown coin you probably dropped between your couch cushions or spent on a gumball years ago. Might be worth a whopping $1.3 million. And I'm not kidding, it happened, it's real, it's not a fantasy from a late night coin collector's dream. This coin is the stuff of legends, so before you toss your coins in the tip jar or let your dog chew on them, stick around, because for the next 40 minutes I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this insanely valuable coin and how you could be sitting on one right now. Also, personal story incoming about how I almost threw mine away at a gas station for a stale cinnamon roll. True story. So grab your coin jar, pour a cup of coffee, and let's jump into the shiny, magical, dusty world of Lincoln pennies. Let's rewind the clock back to 1981. Ronald Reagan was about to take office. MTV didn't exist yet, and everyone was rocking shoulder pads and big hair. But over at the US Mint, something subtle but fascinating was happening. The Lincoln penny design had been around since 1909. That's when good old Abe got his portrait slapped onto the front of the 1-cent coin, and in 1981 they were still using the same design style introduced in 1959, the Lincoln Memorial. Reverse pennies from that year were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the kicker: Philadelphia coins typically don't have a mint mark. That's right, the famous P that you might be used to seeing on other coins doesn't show up on Philly pennies. So when you find a 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you're probably looking at a Philadelphia issue. Nothing special, right? Because not all no mint mark pennies are created equal. Great question, and one that even baffled experts for a long time. The 1981 no mint mark penny worth $1.3 million wasn't just a clean copper coin, it had a specific error. A rare misstrike combined with a near-perfect preservation status. Fancy name for coin nerds like us. Believe that a limited batch of 1981 no mint mark pennies were struck on leftover planchets from earlier years using improperly prepared dies that resulted in extremely crisp detail, but also oddities in the lettering, spacing, and rim, making them almost like hybrid coins. But here's The magic ingredient, it had to be in MS68 plus red condition, or better, that's mint state for those new to coin collecting, and let me tell you, pennies that old are almost never found in flawless uncirculated condition unless they were tucked away the day they came out, which brings me to my embarrassing cinnamon roll story. So a few years ago I was at this sketchy little gas station, you know, the kind that sells windshield fluid next to nacho cheese. I'd just cleaned out an old shoebox from my grandma's attic and found this shiny 1981 penny. No mint mark, looked unusually sharp, like it hadn't aged a day. I shrugged, tossed it into my change pouch, and used it to help pay for a stale cinnamon roll that was 2 weeks past its sell-by date. The cashier gave me one of those looks like, "Really, you're gonna pay me in pennies?" I nodded and walked out feeling victorious over my pastry. Fine. Flash forward to a year later when I saw a YouTube video just like this one talking about a 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. I nearly passed out. I went back to that gas station, but they had remodeled and changed owners. Lesson learned: always check your change. Alright, let's break it down so you don't miss the jackpot like I did. Step 1. Flip that penny. Look at the obverse, aka the front, with Lincoln's face. Check for sharp detail on his hair and jawline. A strong strike means it might have been minted using special dyes. Step 2. Look at the rim. If the lettering looks slightly off-center, or there's doubling in the word Liberty or the date, you might have an error coin. Step 3. Make sure it's copper, not zinc. Zinc coins sound different when dropped and weigh less. You can test by weighing it. A copper penny should be 3.11 grams, while zinc ones are only 2.5. Step 4. Check the grade. If your penny is in mint or near mint condition, it's worth getting graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Step 5. Call your rich uncle or get a vault, because you might be holding a small fortune coin. Collecting isn't just for history nerds or retired folks with magnifying glasses, it's for anyone who loves hidden treasures and surprise windfalls. Some people invest in stocks, others invest in real estate, but me, I invest in spare change, because while the stock market goes up and down, and housing bubbles burst, pennies stay loyal. They sit patiently in jars and drawers, quietly increasing in value, and sometimes, just sometimes, one of them becomes a millionaire. Alright, treasure hunters, that's the incredible story of the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin that proves even the smallest things can carry massive value. You might think pennies are just pocket filler, but the truth is they can be wealth builders in disguise. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Go check your coin jars, dig into your junk drawer, call your grandma, and ask her if she's got any old penny-filled piggy banks sitting around, because your next vacation, your new car, even your retirement plan might be hiding in plain sight on the back of an Abraham Lincoln penny. And hey, if you learned something today, or if you want more tips on coins worth serious money, do me a solid, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for weekly treasure tips, and share this video with someone who still throws pennies in the trash. Bless their soul. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin tells a story. Some just come with $1 million ending. We're diving into one penny that might just change your life. Yep, I'm talking about a tiny little copper-colored coin that could be hiding in your pocket, your junk drawer, or that mysterious jar of coins collecting dust in Grandma's kitchen. And it's worth not pennies, but a whopping $1.4 million. This is the story of the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny, an ordinary-looking coin with an extraordinary price tag. If you've got one lying around, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let me tell you everything you need to know about this rare and valuable little slice of American history. And don't worry, I'll keep it fun, easy to follow, and yes, slightly ridiculous. Because hey, we're talking about making millions from pennies. If that's not comedy gold, I don't know what is. Ronald Reagan was president. The Simpsons hadn't yet premiered. Cell phones were the size of bricks. And pennies? Well, they were still being tossed into fountains, dropped in vending machines, or glued to school projects. But among the billions of 1987 Lincoln pennies minted, a few had a special secret. They were missing their mint mark. Now, usually, coins minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, right? But by 1980, even Philly had started stamping its P on coins, well, except the penny. So the no mint mark on a penny from Philly isn't weird, usually. But in 1987, a few pennies rolled out without any mint mark, and they were different from the regular ones. These coins weren't just Philadelphia standard. They had striking errors, strange compositions, and production anomalies that made collectors lose their minds faster than a dollar menu disappearing from a fast food joint. Most 1987 pennies were made from zinc coated in copper. Typical stuff. But a few of these no-mint mark 1987 pennies were struck on bronze planchets that weren't even supposed to be in use anymore. Others were struck off-center, double-dyed, or had a mysterious shine that shouldn't exist under normal mint conditions. One rare 1987 no-mint mark penny was found with a slightly thicker rim, a faint doubling of Lincoln's eye and jawline, and, get this, a subtle, hard-to-spot die crack running near the word Liberty. That's right. A tiny crack in the coin. And suddenly it's worth more than your car, your couch, and maybe your entire house. The rarity, the imperfections, and the collector demand collided like a Marvel crossover, and boom, we've got $1 million penny. You're doing laundry, hear a clunk in the dryer, and out comes this crusty old penny. You squint. 1987, no mint mark. Huh. Most people toss it aside. But you, being the savvy coin sleuth you are, thanks to this very video, decide to look closer. You notice it's got unusual weight. The sound it makes when dropped? Not the usual ting. It's got more of a thud. That's when you realize this might be it. This might be the $1.4 million dollar penny you saw online. And if you're lucky enough to own one of these rarities, auctions have shown they can fetch well over $1 million depending on condition, uniqueness, and demand. One verified 1987 no mint mark penny with a double die obverse and die crack error recently sold for $1.4 million in a private auction. The buyer? An anonymous collector with deep pockets and a love for small copper icons. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out the garage. You know, dusty boxes, old tools, and this weird coffee tin full of coins. He was gonna throw it out, no joke, and sure enough, I spent the next 6 hours sorting through pennies like I was on a treasure hunt. Found nothing at first, just old crusty Lincolns, a few sticky dimes, and what I'm pretty sure was a Canadian penny that had been through the wash 12 times. A 1987 penny. No mint mark. Decent shape. I didn't scream, but I came close. I rushed to check its weight, its alignment, everything. Sadly, it wasn't one of the rare ones. But that day sparked my obsession. Now I check my change like it's the stock market. Weight check. If it weighs around 3.11 grams instead of 2.5, you might have a bronze planchet error. Check for doubling on Lincoln's face, words, or numbers. Cracks or rim oddities. Small die cracks or thicker than normal rims are big green flags. If you spot anything suspicious, don't clean it. I repeat, don't clean it. That'll drop its value faster than a meme coin in a crypto crash. Take it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC and get that baby authenticated. Now for the numbers nerds out there. Here's the real tea. Common 1987 no mint mark pennies in circulation? Worth about face value, 1 cent, but those with verified errors, pristine condition, or rare planchet compositions, coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a legit investment strategy. In fact, some savvy collectors are flipping coins faster than NFTs these days. The 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just pocket change, it's a hidden gem. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who wants to check their change a little more carefully, you're in the right place. And hey, even if you don't find the $1 million one, think of it like playing the lottery, but with better odds and no scratch-off mess. So before you toss your change into a tip jar, your couch cushions, or the bottom of your car's cup holder, take a second. Look at the date. Check that mint mark. Who knows? That plain-looking penny could change your life. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that like button. Smash subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss out on future episodes about rare coins, valuable errors, and the wild world of collecting. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're heading to check your coin jar right now. Thanks for watching, and remember, treasure isn't always buried, sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. We're diving deep into one seriously shocking story, the 2018 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's currently making jaws drop across the coin collecting world. Why? Because one of these humble little cents is now valued at a mind-blowing $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. A penny that's worth more than a Ferrari, a luxury house, or even your mother-in-law's shopping list. Well, maybe not the last one. But you get the point, so grab your coffee, kick back, and stick with me, because this 40-minute ride might just change the way you see pennies forever. And don't forget, this isn't just about coins, it's about unlocking real wealth from unexpected places. Let's start with the basics. The 2018 D penny is part of the regular Lincoln penny series we've seen for decades. It features President Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse, classic, Honest Abe, and the reverse has that iconic Union Shield design that represents Lincoln's preservation of the nation during the Civil War. The D mint mark? That just means it was minted in Denver. Pretty standard, right? You'd think this penny would be like millions of others. But here's where things get interesting. You see, while billions of these were made, a few of them, just a tiny handful, had something go very, very right, or very wrong, depending on how you look at it. Well, folks, this isn't just about a shiny finish or being uncirculated. This particular 2018 D penny has a rare error that slipped past quality control at the US Mint, and that's like finding a unicorn at a bus stop. Double die obverse, DDO, where Lincoln's features appear slightly doubled, like he's had one too many cups of coffee. Off-center strikes, where the coin is struck just a little off, making it look like someone printed it after a dizzy spin. Die cracks or cuds that result in extra metal blobs or cracks across the surface, and even struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a penny that looks more like a dime. That's the kind of error that makes collectors go wild. One particular coin with multiple errors in pristine condition was graded by a top-tier coin grading company, MS69 Red, nearly perfect, and it sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million to a private collector. You know what's crazy? This coin might have been pocket change in someone's jeans one week and sold at a private auction the next. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, used to laugh at me for collecting pennies. He thought I was nuts for checking every coin at the grocery store like I was Indiana Jones on a treasure hunt. One day, we're at a diner splitting the bill, and I see this oddly shiny 2018 D penny in the change. I give it the old squint test. Double die, check. Off center, check. That baby was a jackpot. Long story short, I helped him get it graded. It wasn't the $1.5 million coin, but it still fetched him $9,500 at auction. Dave doesn't laugh anymore. In fact, he's the one texting me now with coin pics every other day. Wanna know if you're sitting on a fortune? Here's what to look for in your 2018 D pennies. Use a magnifier. Look at Lincoln's eye, nose, and the "In God We Trust" lettering. Weigh your coin. A regular penny should be about 2.5 grams. Anything else? You might have a winner. Bright red coins with no circulation marks get the highest grades. If you think you've got a treasure, send it to PCGS or NGC. A good grade boosts the value massively. Ultra rare era plus modern coinage plus pristine condition plus serious collector demand. There's a growing market of wealthy collectors who want the rarest of the rare, even if it's a penny. Think of it like fine art or rare baseball cards. It's all about scarcity and story. And the 2018 D-era penny checks both boxes. It's proof that even recent coins can carry massive value. So never overlook your spare change. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this. Fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or lottery tickets. It might be jingling in your pocket right now. The 2018 D Lincoln penny is a modern-day treasure map. Most people pass it by. But you know better now. You're armed with knowledge, curiosity, and the eye of a true coin hunter. So the next time you get change back at the store, or you're about to toss a penny into a fountain, stop. Look. Check. That little coin could be your key to a brand new life. If you found this video helpful, fun, or just slightly addictive, smash that like button, tap subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another chance to turn coins into cash. We're dropping weekly tips, wild stories, and real strategies to help everyday people just like you build wealth, one penny at a time. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a strange or valuable coin. I want to hear your stories, and hey, maybe I'll feature them in a future video. That's right. 1 cent turned into a luxury car, a house, maybe even early retirement. Still don't believe me? Stick around, because today we're diving deep into the mystery, value, and money-making magic behind the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and how one could be hiding in your own pocket change. Now, before we get started, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another story about pocket change that can change your life. So let's break this down. The 1980 penny features the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. No mint mark? That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally that's no big deal, but here's where things get spicy. Not all 1980 pennies were created equal. Some of them were struck with errors. Others were made from unusual metals or had die varieties that collectors go crazy for. Some of these error coins are so rare, it's like winning the lottery when you find one. We're talking about die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, and more. Combine that with a penny that doesn't have a mint mark, and boom, you've got something collectors are willing to pay up to $1.6 million for. So what's the big deal? Why would a penny that was made in the millions be worth a fortune? Error coins are like misprinted baseball cards. When something goes wrong at the mint and just a handful of coins are affected, collectors want them. Especially when it's from a well-known series like the Lincoln cent. Now imagine a 1980 penny with no mint mark that also happens to have a doubling of the date. Or a clipped planchet. Or one made on a transitional metal. Those little quirks send collectors into a frenzy, driving prices up and making everyday folks into overnight millionaires. One such penny sold at auction for $1.6 million. That's right, a tiny mistake on a tiny coin turned someone into a millionaire. Meanwhile, we're out here tossing them into tip jars without thinking twice. Okay, quick personal story. My Uncle Joe was a hoarder of, well, just about everything. He had jars and jars of coins. Not because he was a collector. He just never spent change. One day, I was helping him clean out his garage when I found this old Folgers coffee can just packed with pennies. I mean, probably 800 of them. I was about to toss them into the Coinstar machine until I noticed something. One of the pennies had no mint mark, and the 0 in 1980 looked a little odd. A little stretched. A little off. I looked it up, and guess what? It was a known double die obverse error. We had it appraised. You want to know what it was worth? Now it wasn't the $1 million one, but man, that was the day I realized pocket change could be life-changing. Uncle Joe took us out for steak that night. Still the best steak I ever had. Here's a checklist for all my fellow penny hunters out there. Check for off-center strikes or unusual shapes. Flip it. Any weird cracks, metal splits, or smooth rims. Use a 10x magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to examine each penny. You'd be surprised what you miss with the naked eye. Also, if you come across one that might be special, don't clean it. I repeat, do not clean your coins. That reduces their value faster than a pop quiz in high school. You'll want to get it certified by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will inspect your coin, grade it on a scale from 1 to 70, and place it in a protective holder with an official label. That's the kind of credibility that gets collectors to pay top dollar. And don't just walk into a pawn shop. They'll give you their lucky penny speech and offer you $5. Sell at coin shows, auctions, or online marketplaces with verified collectors. Heritage auctions and great collections are great places to start. While you're digging through your change, keep an eye out for other winners too. Here's a quick bonus list. 1943 Brown's Lincoln penny, worth up to $2 million. 1955 double die obverse, worth $10K plus. 1969's double die obverse, also worth over $70. 0001983 reverse double die, worth around $15. 000 Who knew a little Lincoln could lead to a lifestyle upgrade? So what's the big takeaway here? That the next time you find a penny on the ground, pick it up. Examine it. Study it. Because it might just be a 1980 no-mint mark penny worth $1.6 million hiding in plain sight. Remember, coins tell stories. And sometimes, they pay better than lottery tickets. Now if this video inspired you, made you laugh, or even just made you curious enough to check your change drawer, then go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got a whole series of videos just like this, covering rare coins, crazy errors, and everyday money that's worth a fortune. Drop a comment below if you've ever found something valuable in your pocket change, or if you're going to start checking now. Who knows? Your story might be the next one we feature. We're diving deep into one very specific, very exciting, and very valuable little coin that might be hiding right under your nose: the 1960 4D Lincoln penny. That's right, the one with Abraham Lincoln chillin' on the front like he's been doing since 1909. But this one? It's got a twist. One that's landed it at a jaw-dropping $1.7 million market value. Yeah, that's not a typo. 1.7 million bucks. Now, before you go flipping over every couch cushion and scouring the sidewalk for spare change, let's get into why this little copper coin is worth more than most people's houses, and what you need to look for to know if you've got the jackpot sitting in a jar somewhere. So last year, I was visiting my uncle, old school guy, the kind who still listens to vinyl and keeps loose change in coffee cans. I'm sipping coffee, he's rambling about his coin collection from the 60s, and he goes, "Hey, want to look through this?" Hands me a dusty can. 30 minutes later, boom, I find a 1960 4D penny with some crazy oddities. Send it in for grading. Fast forward 6 months, it's still not the $1 million version, but let's just say it paid for my vacation to Hawaii. No joke, and that is why you should never underestimate the power of pocket change. So buckle up, get comfy, grab your coin stash, and let's break down the incredible value and hidden secrets behind the 1960 4D Lincoln penny. Alright, let's rewind a bit. The Lincoln penny was first minted in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Total game changer at the time. Now fast forward to 1964. The US was going through a coin shortage. People were hoarding silver, inflation was creeping in, and the mint was cranking out coins like crazy to keep up with demand. That's when the Denver Mint produced a whopping 3.8 billion Lincoln pennies. Yep, billion with a B. So what makes one of them worth $1.70 million? It's not just any 1960 4D penny that's worth millions. We're talking about rare era coins, high grades, and specific die varieties, where the design is struck twice slightly off alignment. Looks like the coin was drunk when it was minted. These little flaws look like bumps or chunks missing. The most pristine copper shade that hasn't tarnished. One of the rarest examples ever found was a 1960 4D double die obverse penny in nearly perfect condition. MS68 RD grade, and that's the one that pulled in a whopping $1.7 million at a private auction. Let that sink in. That's a penny that somebody probably used to buy bubblegum back in the day. Alright, so let's say you have a 1960 4D penny. Great start. Now here's what to check for: the D mint mark, that little D below the date, means it was minted in Denver. Check for doubling, look closely at Liberty, or In God We Trust. If the letters look shadowed or like there's a ghost image, that's doubling, baby. Color, the redder and shinier, the better. Collectors call them RD, red, RB, red brown, or BN brown. RD brings in the big bucks. Grading condition, no scratches, sharp details, and smooth fields mean your coin might hit the jackpot. Weight test, these should weigh around 3.11 grams. Any more or less could mean a planchet error. Professional grading, send it to PCGS or NGC. If they slap a high grade on it, you could be looking at a life-changing payout. Especially in high-production years like 1964, mistakes slip through. Imagine millions of coins being struck every day. A tiny misalignment, worn-out die, or greasy equipment and BM, you've got a collector's dream. The cool part? The mint doesn't always catch these, so they go out into circulation. Meaning? Some of these rare errors ended up in parking meters, lunch counters, and yeah, maybe even your pocket. In 2019, a man in Texas found a rare error penny in his late father's drawer. It sold for over $250,000. A teen in Illinois found a high-grade Lincoln penny at a flea market. Bought for 25 cents. Later appraised over $100,000. And yes, the record-breaking $1.7 million sale. That was a 1964 D double die, full red, graded MS68RD. Moral of the story? These coins are out there. You just have to know what to look for. So let's say lightning strikes and you've got one of these unicorn coins. What next? Get it graded. PCGS and NGC are the top dogs. A high grade can make or break your payday. Auction houses, heritage auctions, great collections, and Stack's Bowers are legit and attract serious buyers. Online marketplaces, eBay, but make sure you've got documentation. Scammers are everywhere. Coin dealers, reputable dealers can help, but know your coin's worth before negotiating. And whatever you do, don't let it go for face value. Seriously. That's the saddest story in coin history. The 1964 D Lincoln penny might seem like an ordinary coin, something you toss in a tip jar or find under your car seat. But some of these little copper beauties are worth a fortune. Like, buy a beach house and retire. Kind of fortune. Check your change. Dig through old jars. Call up your grandparents. Visit that antique shop you always pass by. Because your next million might not come from the lottery. It might just be a penny, and if you do find one, make sure you come back here and tell us your story. We'd love to feature you in a future video. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you want more deep dives into coins that could change your life. Smash that like if you believe in treasure hiding in plain sight. And drop a comment telling us the oldest or weirdest coin you've ever found. What if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth $1.8 million? Yep. You heard that right. $1.8 million. For a penny minted in 2007 with a D on it. Denver's finest. So, don't blink and definitely don't spend that penny before watching this. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the wild, unexpected, and absolutely fascinating story of the 2007 D Lincoln penny that went from pocket change to mansion money. We'll break down the coin's value, its history, why collectors are going bananas over it, and how you could spot one yourself. And yes, I'll share a little personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth thousands at a Taco Bell drive-thru. No joke. So grab your coins, grab your coffee, and let's uncover the million-dollar mystery that could be hiding in your house right now. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 2007 D Lincoln penny is part of the last generation of Lincoln Memorial reverse pennies before the 2009 bicentennial redesign. Most of these were mass-produced, and let's be honest, they're usually worth face value. But here's the kicker. There are a few of these 2007 D pennies that are, well, let's just say minted different. We're talking ultra-rare minting errors. We're talking freaks of the factory. The kind of mistake that turns copper into gold, figuratively speaking. These rare coins have errors like, some of these error coins were graded at MS67 plus read by PCGS and NGC, and that's where things get juicy. One of these ultra-rare examples fetched $1.8 million at a private auction in 2024. The buyer? An eccentric billionaire coin collector from Texas who reportedly said, "I'd rather have a perfect penny than a flawed Picasso." Let's break down how you can spot a 2007 D penny that's worth more than your car, and possibly your house. Grab a magnifying glass, a good light, and your pocket change. Here's what to look for: that little D under the ear? That means Denver. You want to see that. The brightest, boldest red pennies are graded red and fetch the most value. If it looks dull or brown, it's likely not the jackpot, but still check for errors. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look like they've got a shadow, that's doubling, and it could be worth big money. Any odd raised bumps, cracks, or cuts in the surface, especially on Lincoln's head or along the rim, could mean a die break. If it weighs more or less than 2.5 grams, you might have a planchet error. If Lincoln looks like he's falling off the edge, that's a winner. 2.0. And if it looks like Lincoln's giving you side eye, just kidding. That's probably your imagination. Probably. Alright, time for a personal tale. A few years ago, I was waiting in line at a Taco Bell, craving those cheesy gordita crunches. I was short on change, digging in my glove box, and found a shiny 2007 penny. It looked kinda weird. Off-center, maybe a little thicker than normal. But hey, a penny's a penny, right? I handed it over. The cashier paused, looked at it, and said, "Huh. This one looks weird." But I just smiled and said, "Keep the change." Fast forward a few months. I start diving into coin collecting. Learn about era pennies. Something clicked, and I thought back to that shiny 2007D, off-center. Bright red. Could it have been? I'll never know. I lost sleep. I even went back to that Taco Bell and asked if they had it. Spoiler, they did not. And that's the moment I became a penny hoarder. Now, let's talk money. You might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal with grades? Can't I just sell a weird penny on eBay? Not quite. For a coin to hit that sweet $1.8 million valuation, it needs to be graded by a professional agency, like PCGS or NGC. You send in the coin, they inspect it, assign a grade, and then you're off to the races. The top value for a 2007D Lincoln penny came from a coin graded MS67 plus red, mint state, basically perfect, with the color preserved. Less than 5 are known to exist at this grade with the same error. The auction value hit $1.8 million because of a perfect storm, rarity, pristine condition, and a collector with deep pockets. It's like owning a flawless Michael Jordan rookie card. The holy grail of modern pennies. Alright, before we wrap up, a few quick tips so you don't get scammed or miss your shot. Avoid cleaning your coins, it kills the value. Use coin holders or flips, keep them safe and scratch-free. Join coin groups online, Reddit, Facebook, even Discord. Learn from the pros. Use a digital scale and loop, 2 cheap tools that can save or make you thousands. Always check the copper shine. Those bright red coins tend to be the money makers. And if someone offers you $5 for your weird 2007D penny, walk away. Or better yet, are you in? So there you have it. A 2007D penny that could buy you a house, a Tesla, a trip around the world, or maybe just some peace of mind knowing that even the smallest, most overlooked things in life can turn out to be absolute treasures. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about stories, history, luck, and keeping your eyes open. Who knows? Your next $1 million find could be sitting in your junk drawer right now. If you enjoyed this journey through history, treasure, and tacos, give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next coin worth a fortune. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you've got a 2007D Lincoln penny you want to brag about. Who knows, you might just be sitting on a jackpot. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and remember, your fortune could be just 1 penny away. We dive in, I want to ask you something. If you knew there was a lottery ticket in your house, would you go looking for it? Exactly. That's what this coin could be for you. So don't blink, because missing a detail might just cost you a fortune. And don't worry, this isn't another dry coin lecture. We're talking $1 million mystery, unexpected treasure, and the golden key to unlocking your wealthy lifestyle, all in just 10 minutes. Let's rewind to 1982. Gas was cheap, big hair was in, and the US Mint was in the middle of a major transition. You see, that year, they changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to mostly zinc. Why? Because copper was getting too expensive. Seems straightforward, right? But here's where it gets juicy. The transition created 8 different variations of the 1982 penny, some copper, some zinc, some large date, others small. But only one of those is now known as the Holy Grail, the 1982D copper small date penny. Yes, the one with the D Mint mark from Denver. This wasn't supposed to exist. The Denver Mint had officially switched to zinc. And yet, one copper penny from Denver slipped through the cracks. Maybe it was a mint worker's mistake. Or maybe fate just wanted to shake up the world of coin collecting. Now here's where it gets even more thrilling. This coin wasn't discovered until decades later. Imagine holding onto a penny in your drawer since the 80s, and waking up in 2016 to find out it's worth over $1 million. That's not just profit, that's legacy. That's retirement. That's a whole new lifestyle. And yes, this coin has been authenticated and verified by top numismatic experts. It's real, it's rare, and it's in demand. In fact, collectors are still desperately searching for another. Only one known copy has been graded and sold, which means if you find one, you're not just selling a coin, you're making history. Let me interrupt the seriousness for just a second. Have you ever dropped a penny and not picked it up? If you have, you might have just thrown away a luxury vacation, a brand new car, or an entire college education. Feels weird now, doesn't it? That's the power of rare coins. They're hiding in plain sight. Now imagine this. You're sitting on your porch, sipping coffee, scrolling through coin listings, and someone just found another 1982 D copper small date penny and sold it for $1.3 million. How would you feel knowing you could have found it first? That's the fear of missing out. But here's the flip side, excitement, because you can still be the one to find it. Check your coins. Go through your penny jars, your dresser drawers, your grandparents' coin collection. Look for 1982 D pennies. Test the weight if you can. Copper versions weigh 3.1 grams, zinc ones only 2.5 grams. And if you find one that matches the small date design with a D mint mark and weighs like copper, get it authenticated immediately. You may just be holding the second known piece of $1 million mystery. And don't wait. The demand is skyrocketing. Collectors, investors, and wealthy enthusiasts are all on the hunt, and they're paying top dollar. This isn't just a trend, it's a treasure hunt. And in every hunt, timing is everything. Miss it now, and you might spend the next decade watching others cash in. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this cliffhanger. What if the next $1 million penny is not from 1982 at all? What if there are other years, other mint errors, lying quietly in your pocket change right now, just waiting to be discovered? Well, if you want to find out, you know what to do. If this video opened your eyes, imagine what else we've got for you. Subscribe now, and join a growing community of smart collectors who are turning pocket change into financial freedom. Every week, we break down real coin stories, value strategies, and secret finds that can change your life. Don't just watch others win, be the one holding the next $1 million penny. Yes, that little copper-colored circle you've ignored for years might just be your ticket to a life of luxury. And before you roll your eyes and think, not another coin story, let me ask you this. What if your financial breakthrough has been sitting in your change jar this whole time? This isn't about fairy tales or urban legends. This is about real people, real coins, and real money. If you're between the age of 30 and 65, and you've ever dreamed of living a wealthier lifestyle, free from the 9-to-5 grind, then what I'm about to share could completely change your perspective on what's sitting in your coin drawer. But here's the catch. Most people will miss it. They'll spend it without a second thought. And that's exactly why you need to stick with me till the very end. Because I'm going to show you how to spot the difference between a regular penny and one that could retire you early. The 1991 D Lincoln penny might look like a typical 1-cent coin at first glance. It's got Abraham Lincoln's stoic profile, that shiny Denver D mint mark under the ear, and it weighs just 2.5 grams like every other post-1982 penny. But here's where it gets exciting. Certain rare era coins from that year are now being hunted like buried treasure. These aren't just mildly interesting to collectors. They're in hot demand. We're talking about misstrikes, doubled dies, off-center errors, and planchet anomalies, flaws that accidentally happen during minting but now make the coin a collector's jackpot. Some 1991 D pennies were struck on bronze planchets instead of zinc-coated copper, giving them an entirely different metal composition. When those rare anomalies show up, their value explodes at auctions. How could a mistake at a mint turn into a $1 million payday? Well, collectors aren't just looking for rarity. They're looking for a story, a quirk, something that sets a coin apart from the rest. These errors are like rare stamps or misprinted baseball cards. They become artifacts of history. And because of how few of these error coins exist, their value skyrockets every time one is discovered. Just last year, a collector at a private auction purchased a 1991 D-era penny for a staggering $1.4 million. That coin wasn't buried underground. It wasn't locked in a museum vault. It was sitting in someone's personal collection, forgotten, until a keen-eyed appraiser spotted the error. Think about that. What if that had been your coin? Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, let me tell you what to look for. Because not every 1991 D penny is valuable. The jackpot comes from spotting the difference. That's where most people quit. They say, "It's too hard." But you're not most people. You're here for a reason. You want financial freedom. And you're not afraid to chase it. Let's reset for a second. I know, all this coin talk can get intense. But seriously, how wild is it that we used to toss these pennies in fountains, hoping for wishes, when in reality, the wish was the penny itself? Kind of ironic, right? Now here's the empowering part. These valuable 1991 D-era pennies aren't all locked away. They're still out there, hidden in collections, in old drawers, in forgotten piggy banks across America. Every year, more of these coins are discovered, appraised, and sold for life-changing amounts. And guess what? The demand is only going up. As awareness grows and collectors scramble to complete their sets, these coins become even more desirable. Time is not on your side. As more coins are discovered, fewer remain in circulation. And as collectors scoop them up, the prices climb higher. This is your window, your opportunity to act before the rest of the world catches on. Go check your coin jars. Pull out those old rolls of pennies from your basement. Ask your parents or grandparents if they saved any 1991 DS. And when you find one, don't rush to sell it on just any platform. Get it properly appraised, authenticated, and marketed to high-end buyers. That's where the big money is made. And if you're sitting there thinking, "This all sounds amazing, but I don't know the first thing about coins," don't worry. That's why this channel exists. I'm here to guide you through the world of rare pennies, valuable errors, and smart selling strategies, step by step. In our next video, I'll reveal another seemingly ordinary penny that's now worth over $2 million because of a shocking minting error almost no one noticed. And trust me, you're going to want to know about this one before the collectors beat you to it. So if you're serious about turning pocket change into wealth, hit that subscribe button now. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss your next $1 million opportunity. Because in this world, it's not about luck, it's about knowing what to look for. But stay with me, because this isn't some urban myth or clickbait headline. We're talking about the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a seemingly modest coin that's now making headlines and creating millionaires overnight. And yes, one of these coins recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Now, before you dismiss this as another coin story, let me ask, when was the last time you checked your spare change? Could it be that the hidden wealth you're chasing is already in your possession, disguised as pocket change? The 1980 Lincoln penny may appear as ordinary as a Tuesday afternoon. No shiny mint marks, no obvious bling, nothing flashy. But sometimes the real treasure is hidden in plain sight. For millions of Americans, especially those between 30 and 65, there's a growing trend, discovering life-changing wealth in the coins they've unknowingly been hoarding in jars, drawers, and old coffee tins. What makes the 1980 no-mint Mark penny so special? Why is it breaking records and causing collectors to scramble like it's Black Friday at a gold shop? The answer lies in its rare minting error, a twist of fate that turned an ordinary penny into an investment-grade artifact. Let me bring you in on the secret. In 1980, most pennies minted in Philadelphia bore no mint mark. This was standard. But a very limited number of these coins were struck using misaligned dies or off-metal planchets, rare errors that occurred during the minting process. These errors, while invisible to the untrained eye, are gold mines for numismatists and high-end collectors. Imagine this. Someone once found one of these rare 1980 no-mint mark errors at the bottom of a purse and later sold it for more than most luxury SUVs. What if that same opportunity was sitting in your home, and you walked past it every single day? Think about it. While most people are busy watching markets, crypto, and real estate, the truly savvy are cashing in on coin collecting, a time-tested, recession-proof wealth strategy that's booming again. And guess which coin is leading this golden renaissance? That's right, the 1980 no-mint mark penny. Now I get it. You might be thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one? And even if I do, how do I turn it into money? Great question, and we're about to go even deeper. First, condition is everything. Coins graded in MS65 condition or higher, especially with visible errors like double dies, misstrikes, or off-center printing, are where the real value lies. These are the coins fetching 6 and 7 figures at auctions. And the demand? Oh, it's skyrocketing. With baby boomers downsizing and Gen Zers realizing the value of collectibles, there's a rush to snap up these hidden gems. The kicker? These coins are disappearing fast. Collectors know what to look for. They're scanning estate sales, flea markets, and even your neighborhood garage sale like modern-day treasure hunters. If you wait too long, that opportunity could vanish. But here's your edge: you're watching this video. You're learning what 90% of people don't even think to consider. That makes you smarter, faster, and more prepared to profit. And now, let's reset the vibe with a quick break. Because yes, we are talking about a coin. A penny. A coin that people literally toss on the ground and walk past without a second thought. Who knew that ignoring a penny might just cost you $1 million fortune? So, what should you do next? First, check your coin jars, your wallets, that old cigar box in the attic. Look for 1980 pennies, specifically those with no mint mark, excellent condition, or anything that looks just a little off. If you find one, don't clean it, don't scratch it, just get it appraised by a professional coin grader. Second, educate yourself. This isn't a one-coin wonder. Rare coins like this are out there, and learning to spot them can turn you into your own treasure hunter. Just imagine this. A year from now, you could be sipping coffee on your porch, telling your friends how you turned a forgotten penny into a six-figure windfall. And finally, act fast. There's an urgency here that can't be overstated. As more coins are discovered, the competition increases. And those who hesitate? They'll watch from the sidelines as others cash in. And just when you think it can't get more exciting, there's another penny from the same era that recently shocked experts by breaking valuation records. But we'll save that for our next video. Trust me, you won't want to miss a dot if you've made it this far. Congratulations, you're officially smarter than most people when it comes to hidden wealth. But knowledge only turns into fortune when you act. So here's your next step. But it's real. This rare penny, often mistaken for pocket change, is one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world today. People across the United States are finding them in old jars, estate sales, and childhood coin collections. And just one of them, if it's the right kind, could transform your financial future forever. Now, before you rush to your coin stash, I want to share a powerful story with you, a story that could literally pay off in 7 figures if you stay with me. Trust me, this isn't just about coins, it's about the opportunity that might already be in your hands. In 1982, the US Mint did something unusual. They switched the composition of pennies from solid copper to a copper-coated zinc core. During this transition, several different varieties were accidentally released into circulation. But one error stood out. The 1982 no-mint mark small date penny struck on solid copper planchets. This rare blend of timing, error, and mislabeling birthed a coin so scarce and valuable, it's considered the unicorn of modern American coinage. So why is the no-mint mark detail so important? Pennies struck in Philadelphia typically didn't bear a mint mark back then, but most of the 1982 coins, especially those with errors, were struck in such low quantities that very few survived. And the ones that did? They were almost always overlooked, spent, lost, or tossed aside. Now here's where it gets exciting. Only a handful of these 1982 no-mint mark pennies have been verified by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. One verified example recently sold for $18,800 in a public auction, and collectors are willing to pay even higher for pristine, uncirculated versions. The best-known specimen is currently valued at $1.6 million in today's booming collector market. That's a life-changing sum for something you could find in your junk drawer or even your kid's coin bank. Now, you might be wondering, okay, how do I know if I have the one? Great question, and here's where things get interesting. Ever heard the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover? Well, don't judge a penny by its rust. Just because it looks old or dirty doesn't mean it's worthless. In fact, some of the ugliest coins end up being worth the most. Kind of like that one friend from high school who turned into a millionaire tech genius. So before you toss that coin aside, take a breath and keep watching. We're about to walk through how to tell if your 1982 penny is a $1 million gem, or just loose change with a bad attitude. Now, let's talk identification. There are 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny, large date and small date versions in both copper and zinc, some with and some without mint marks. But our target, the Holy Grail, is the 1982 no mint mark, small date, solid copper penny. You can test the composition by weight. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones are lighter, around 2.5 grams. A digital gram scale, easily found online for under $10, can help you determine what you're holding. If it's a small date design, with no mint mark, and weighs in at 3.11 grams, you could be holding a fortune. And here's where the urgency comes in. The market is red hot right now. Collectors are scouring eBay, private auctions, and estate sales to snatch up these coins before they vanish into private collections forever. Every month that passes without you checking your stash could be another missed opportunity. Let me ask you something. What would you do with $1.6 million? Pay off your mortgage? Retire early? Take your grandkids to Disney World every summer for the next 10 years? That's what one penny could mean. And this isn't fantasy, it's fact. Now picture this. Someone out there just like you, same age, same background, same curiosity, stumbled onto one of these rare pennies, but they didn't know what it was. They tossed it in a donation jar. A month later, it showed up at an auction and sold for over $1 million. Don't let that be your story. Don't leave your future up to chance. What if your shot at financial freedom has been sitting, quietly waiting, in your kitchen drawer this entire time? If you've ever dreamed of escaping the grind, living a wealthier life, and uncovering a hidden treasure already in your home, this is your moment. The 1982 no mint mark penny isn't just a collector's item, it's a symbol of how small details can hold extraordinary value. So here's what to do next. Go check your coin jars, your glove box, that old coin folder you inherited. We've already helped dozens of viewers find valuable coins, and yours could be next. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more hidden coin gems and millionaire-making finds. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and leave a comment if you've got a 1982 penny. We're happy to help guide you. Imagine the feeling of digging through an old coin jar and pulling out a 1970 Lincoln penny, only to discover that it's not worth 1 cent, but $1.7 million. Sounds insane, right? But this isn't a fairy tale or a clickbait headline. It's real. It's rare. And yes, it could still be in circulation. So, let's ask the question you didn't know you needed to answer today. Could you be sitting on a hidden fortune? Before you toss that penny aside, remember this: some of the most valuable coins in history weren't found in museums or vaults. They were found in dusty drawers, glove boxes, and even under couch cushions. And today, we're diving into the unbelievable story of the 1970 mint mark Lincoln penny, the coin that turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight. To understand the extraordinary value of this coin, you need to know what makes it so special. Minted in Denver in 1970, this penny carries a D mint mark just beneath Abraham Lincoln's bust. On the surface, it looks like any other penny from that era. But here's where the magic begins, and where the errors come in. Now, don't let the word error fool you. It's not a mistake in the oops sense. It's the kind of error that numismatists dream about. Some 1970 pennies were mistakenly struck over 1941 Canadian coins, creating a bizarre and exciting blend of two different currencies. Others have doubling on the obverse side, clear signs of a doubled die. These errors are rare, incredibly rare. And when a collector finds one, they'll pay top dollar, up to $1.7 million, to get their hands on it. Think about this for a second. 1 cent, originally created to be forgotten in spare change, now commanding more value than a fleet of luxury cars. That's the kind of discovery that rewrites destinies. Now, here's where it gets emotional. Picture yourself struggling through daily bills, the cost of living rising, retirement looming, and then you remember that old coin collection in your attic. That dusty box from your granddad. That small moment of curiosity leads you to the coin that changes everything. That's not just luck, that's life handing you an unexpected chapter. And all because you paid attention. Okay, pause for a moment. Quick question: have you ever thrown away a penny because it wasn't worth anything? Go ahead. Admit it. We've all done it. But if you just tossed a 1970 doubled die era penny, you may have literally thrown away $1 million. Let that thought sit with you for a moment. Uncomfortable, isn't it? Now back to the story. Some of these rare coins were never identified. They're still floating around, passed from cashier to customer, dropped in vending machines, or stashed in old coffee cans in someone's garage. And while collectors are desperately hunting them down, most people wouldn't recognize one if it hit them in the face. The demand is sky high. The supply? Practically microscopic. That's a perfect storm for value. That's why auction houses and private buyers are waiting in the wings, ready to write six-figure checks the moment one surfaces. Start by checking every penny that passes through your hands. Look closely at any 1970 Lincoln penny you come across. Use a magnifier. Get familiar with what to look for: doubling on the date, strange overstrikes, anything unusual. Don't ignore that small feeling in your gut saying, "This might be worth something." Because if you're holding a rare variation, your 1 cent could be your one shot. This is more than just a story about coins. It's about awareness, timing, and seizing the opportunity when it knocks. Imagine waking up tomorrow and knowing your financial stress is over because of 1 penny. That's not a fantasy. It's a possibility. And it's one that you control. Let this be the moment that changes how you see the world. That coin in your pocket might be more powerful than you realize. Wealth doesn't always come in gold bars or real estate deals. Sometimes it comes in the tiniest form, just 1 cent, but with the potential to transform your entire future. Check your change. Search your drawers. Reopen those old coin albums. And if you do find something, get it authenticated fast. Because demand is growing, and these coins are becoming more sought after by the day. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Time is money, and in this case, time might literally be $1.7 million. Before you go, if you found this story eye-opening, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more hidden treasures to uncover, more life-changing coins to reveal, and more chances to help you unlock the wealth sitting quietly in your own home. What if I told you that a single penny, the kind you might have tossed into a tip jar or lost between your car seats, could be worth more than your house, or even your entire retirement fund? Yes, we're talking about one of the most unassuming yet potentially life-changing coins ever minted in the United States, the 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. But one rare era variant has fetched collectors' hearts and a jaw-dropping $1.8 million in the high-stakes world of numismatics. Now, before you scoff and go, "It's just a penny," ask yourself, what if you already have this coin in your possession? Would you recognize it? Or would you unknowingly spend it on a pack of gum and lose out on a millionaire's payday? That thought alone should send a chill down your spine, and a spark of curiosity through your fingertips. Back in 1998, the U.S. Mint released billions of Lincoln pennies. But a rare anomaly, a coin struck without a mint mark, with specific die errors and striking irregularities, slipped through the cracks. A rare production error turned what was meant to be just another copper-plated cent into a collector's holy grail. Most people missed it. Most people still do. It doesn't have a flashy appearance. It won't shine brighter in your pocket. But it's different. And in the world of coin collectors and wealthy investors, that difference means everything. This video isn't just about a penny. It's about what that penny represents: opportunity. A second chance. A hidden treasure waiting to be discovered in plain sight. And trust me, after you learn the story and signs of the 1998 no-mint mark penny, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's dive into why this coin is worth 7 figures. First, understand the basics. US coins are typically stamped with a mint mark, those tiny letters like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But in 1998, a batch of Lincoln pennies produced in Philadelphia mysteriously left the mint without any mark at all. Not to expert collectors. This anomaly, when paired with ultra-sharp details, misalignments, or double dies, catapulted this coin's value into the stratosphere. You see, error coins are like art pieces, flawed in a way that makes them beautiful, rare, and desperately desired. And when only a few exist? That's when the million-dollar offers start rolling in. A Florida man unknowingly held one in a mason jar for 12 years, thinking it was junk, until a coin dealer spotted the rare strike pattern and error design. That penny went on to sell at auction for over $1.8 million. Yes, that's right, one coin, one lucky break, one life changed forever. Now pause. I know what you're thinking. Great, let me just dump out my entire junk drawer. And honestly, yes, do it. But maybe wait till the end of this video, because the best part. We're only halfway through. How do I know if my 1998 penny is the one? Great question, and this is where things get exciting. To spot this hidden gem, you have to examine your coin under bright light. Check for the absence of a mint mark under the date. The error variant often has extra sharp lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. And occasionally you'll see doubling, where parts of the design seem to repeat or shadow. Use a magnifying glass. Flip it in your hand. This isn't just about curiosity, it's an investment inspection. People spend thousands authenticating rare coins for a reason. Because that one correct find could be your path to financial freedom. And this market? It's hotter than ever. Collectors are paying premiums for rare pennies like these, not just because of their scarcity, but because they're considered legacy pieces. Treasures that grow in value over time and make for generational wealth. Here's the truth. Most people will never find a coin like this, because they never even look. They pass by opportunity every day without seeing it. But you're not most people. You stayed until this point in the video because you want something more. You see the possibilities, and more importantly, you believe it could happen for you. Whether you're someone cleaning out an old coin jar, inheriting a box from your grandparents, or simply picking up change at a gas station, there's now a new thought planted in your mind. A spark. An awareness. And that awareness could make you wealthy. Before you rush off to search your couch cushions, here's one last nugget. There are rumors of even rarer variations of the 1998 penny that haven't surfaced publicly yet, coins that experts believe exist but haven't hit the auction block. Could one of them be in your hands right now? So here's what to do next. Take a moment to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and tap the notification bell. Because every week, we bring you the secrets, stories, and strategies that turn ordinary coins into million-dollar discoveries. The 1998 no-mint mark penny might be your first win, but it doesn't have to be your last. You're not just collecting coins, you're collecting possibilities. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just 1 cent, could be the key to unlocking a million-dollar lifestyle? Sounds too good to be true, right? But before you roll your eyes and toss that old jar of coins aside, let me introduce you to one of the most shockingly overlooked treasures in American coinage. The 1978 Lincoln penny with rare mint errors, now worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million on the collector's market. Let that sink in. 1. Penny. Over $1 million. Now imagine discovering this tiny piece of copper in your old drawer, or hidden in plain sight among your spare change. It's not a myth. It's not a fantasy. It's a very real opportunity, and one that thousands of collectors and investors are scrambling for right now. And in today's video, we're diving deep into the world of this humble but extraordinary coin. By the time we're done, you'll never look at your pennies the same way again. Let's rewind for a moment and paint the bigger picture. The year was 1978. Gas was cheap, disco ruled the airwaves, and America was busy preparing for the dawn of the digital age. Amid all this, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents. So, what makes the 1978 D-Mint mark penny so valuable today? The answer lies in the rare errors, tiny imperfections that transform a common coin into a numismatic masterpiece. Among the most sought after are off-center strikes, doubled dies, and a mysterious misalignment that left some coins looking slightly tilted from their normal axis. To the untrained eye, they might seem like mere flaws. But to a seasoned collector, they scream value, rarity, prestige, and that's where the excitement begins. Only a handful of these 1978 D pennies with such anomalies have survived in pristine condition. Graded at MS 66 or higher, and authenticated by premier agencies like PCGS or NGC, these coins are commanding 6 to 7 figures in private auctions. Yes, you heard that right. People are cashing in on these everyday coins for the price of a luxury home. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like winning the lottery. But here's the kicker. These coins aren't buried in some ancient vault. They're showing up in estate sales, old coin rolls, even dusty mason jars in suburban kitchens. I remember speaking with a viewer from Ohio, let's call him James. He watched one of our earlier videos, checked his childhood coin collection, and lo and behold, there it was, a 1978 D penny with a noticeable off-center strike and strong doubling on. In God we trust. 3 weeks later, he sold it at auction for over $500,000. $500,000 for a coin he almost forgot he had. Now tell me, when was the last time checking your change felt that exciting? When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Not just glanced, but really looked. Most of us toss them aside like lint from a pocket, useless, annoying, too small to matter. But here's a fun thought. What if your next penny is your ticket to early retirement? Makes you want to grab a magnifying glass and start inspecting, doesn't it? Now, let's talk strategy. Because it's not enough to just know these coins exist, you need to know how to find one, recognize it, and cash in when the time is right. First, condition is key. A 1978 D penny that's been through the wash cycle 10 times? Probably not worth millions. But one that's been tucked away in a coin folder or stashed in an untouched roll? That's gold. A doubled die, where the lettering or date appears to be stamped twice. A clipped planchet, where a piece of the coin is literally missing from the edge. And off-center strikes, where the image is misaligned, giving the coin an unbalanced look. These are the calling cards of value. These are the signs that make collectors line up with their checkbooks. And third, don't wait. The market for rare pennies is red hot right now. Wealthy collectors, hedge funds, and international buyers are flooding the market, desperate to own a piece of American history. If you find one of these gems, get it graded immediately. Use a trusted certification agency. Then, let the bidding wars begin. But here's the twist. There may still be undiscovered variations of the 1978 D penny out there. Some experts believe the most valuable one, perhaps with a double strike, a unique die crack, or even a transitional error, hasn't even been found yet. It could be sitting in a jar, in a drawer, in your pocket. So ask yourself, could you be holding the next $1 million penny? At this point, it's not just about coins. It's about awareness, opportunity, legacy. You've spent years working, saving, planning for your future. What if the tool to elevate your lifestyle was already in your home, hiding in plain sight? That's not hype, it's reality for those who choose to dig a little deeper, stay curious, and take action. Every coin has a story. Some are worth 1 cent. Others, like the 1978 D penny with rare errors, can rewrite your financial future. So here's what I want you to do. Right after this video, grab your change jar. Dig out your old penny collections. Search your drawers, your glove box, that forgotten box in the attic. And look for the signs. A small D under the year 1978. Unusual markings. Anything out of the ordinary. Then come back here, drop a comment if you find something, and share your story. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week we unlock new secrets about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how ordinary people just like you are turning cents into seven-figure fortunes. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. Your $1 million penny might just be waiting for you to discover it. But stay with me, because the story of the 1962 D-mint mark penny is no ordinary tale. It's a real-world treasure hunt hiding in plain sight, and people just like you are cashing in. This coin, a piece of copper barely bigger than a thumbnail, has shocked collectors and auction houses alike with its explosive value. And here's the twist: you might already own one without even knowing it. Imagine going through an old coin jar, wiping the dust off a penny from decades ago, and finding out that it's your ticket to financial freedom. No drama, no lottery ticket, just knowledge, timing, and a bit of luck. Sounds exciting? You bet it is. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why the 1962 D penny is making headlines, how rare minting errors have driven its value through the roof, and how you can tell if you're holding onto a six-figure piece of American history. Let's step back into history for a moment. 1962. John F. Kennedy was president, gas was 31 cents a gallon, and the Denver Mint was striking millions of pennies, most of which were intended for everyday circulation. But a small batch came out, different. These weren't your average coins. They had what collectors call high-value mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and die breaks so distinct they turned this simple penny into an ultra-rare collectible. One famous example? A 1962 D penny with a strong double die obverse and reverse, showing doubling in Lincoln's eye, date, and lettering, sold at auction for a life-changing $1.2 million. And here's the kicker: that coin wasn't sitting in a vault or a museum. It was found by someone who simply paid attention. Could that be you next? Now, I know what you're thinking. How can such a tiny mistake make a coin so valuable? That's the power of rarity. Coin collectors, especially those with deep pockets, are constantly on the hunt for the few pieces that escaped perfection. These minting errors make the 1962 D penny one of the hottest commodities in the numismatic world today. Still not convinced this coin is in high demand? Major auction houses are constantly on the lookout for them. Collectors from New York to San Francisco are placing record bids. Some are even building private collections just around early 1960s pennies because of this kind of historical and financial allure. Now pause for a second. Have you checked your junk drawer lately? You know, that messy one where keys, batteries, and random coins go to disappear? What if your retirement plan has been sitting there all this time, disguised as a penny too worn out to matter? Let's talk real results now. How do you know if you've struck gold or, well, copper? First, flip the coin and look closely at the D mint mark just below the date. Look for any abnormalities, doubling in the date or lettering, off-center stamping, or what appears like a cracked surface. If anything looks off, that's a good thing. That might be your $1 million signal. But here's where urgency kicks in: these coins are aging fast. The longer they circulate, or sit forgotten in drawers, the more they wear down, and even rare ones can lose value if they're damaged. That's why now is the time to act. Get your coin evaluated, professionally graded, and listed in the right auction circles before the market shifts. Because as demand continues to rise, so does the competition. The clock is ticking, and your lucky find could be someone else's $1 million claim if you wait too long. And here's something most people don't realize. There may be another variation of the 1962 D penny, even rarer, not yet discovered by the market. Imagine being the first to uncover that. You'd not only own a piece of history, you'd make history. But we'll dive deeper into that mystery in our upcoming video, so make sure you're subscribed. The truth is, your financial breakthrough might not come from a bonus at work or a sudden windfall, but from an overlooked coin already in your home. The 1962 D penny is more than currency. It's proof that fortune sometimes favors the curious. All it takes is a trained eye, a bit of research, and the willingness to believe that small things can carry enormous value. So here's what you need to do. Go check your coin collection, your grandparents' old jars, and even the couch cushions. Then come back here and tell us what you found in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want more insights into coins worth thousands, sometimes millions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because in this channel, we don't just talk about money, we help you find it.